Fun.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon. There's three of us here on.
You ready, Trev? Or are we going to give people a few more minutes?
Let me see. How much people are in here? We have 14 people in here currently.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, I'm sorry, guys. So my desktop is. Oh, I have the wrong background. Oh, I'm sorry. So my screen is over here, right? So, I'm gonna look to the side a few times. But we have a few people in here. But you can start for now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try helping all of us.
Okay, so good morning, well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out. So as you saw from the flyers, today we're going to be talking about careers in geology and the environmental industry. So we actually have two guest speakers today, and we have both of them here right now. So we have the lovely Mrs. Margaret Artrum right here. She's going to talk to us today. I'll give a further introduction later on. And we also have Patrice Edwards. Some of you would remember Patrice if you were here at UWI around 2018, 2019. So without further ado, we're going to have a nice game now, a nice icebreaker, and Trevaine's going to start us off with that.
Hi guys. You know what? I'm gonna put this screen over here so I look straight ahead.
Okay.
So this game is called Scribble, right? We played a lot over by Geographical Society.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys see it? Who's sharing or sharing?
I can see it now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so it's called Scribble. I'm gonna send you guys a link. So I'm just gonna customize my character and send you the link. That's it. So I'm gonna.
Sean, I need
you
your
guys are gonna
help.
have it.
They're playing a game called Scribble, and we need to log in.
Okay.
It's an invitation.
Did I send it multiple times or that's it? Looks like I sent it multiple times. Yes, sir. So here it is. So here my first message. It's a bottom message. Oh, Kimor is here. Gabby is here.
Yeah.
Please, guys, do not cheat by looking at the screen.
Wow.
Okay, let's see who else is gonna join. So we usually play with 90 seconds, but since also you guys are gonna be new, I'm gonna up the time to 1 minute.
Well, caps are just regular. Just
So,
type it in.
So basically how it works is when the game starts, everybody has a chance to draw, and they give you a word to choose, and you select that word and you try to draw that word, so everyone can guess the word in the time given, right? So on the side of the chat, at the bottom should be over here, you're gonna see like a large chat area. That's where you're gonna type in your guess. If the guess is incorrect, it will show up and you'll see the word itself that you type in. But if the guess is correct, it will say, Trevane, guess the word, right? The faster you guess it, the more points that you get.
Yep.
So you want to guess as soon as possible, and you can calculate points.
Okay.
So I can start now, because you can join even though the game is started.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys can tell me if you want to start or that way.
You can start now. We have quite a bit of players already.
Okay. So I'm gonna do 10 rounds. We can do 4 or 5 at the time.
Okay. Just letting you guys know, from now I suck at drawing.
So Nakia is drawing. She's choosing the word, and then she's gonna draw the word. So when it's my turn, I'm gonna take my screen off so you don't see my word and you don't get cheat the game.
How do we guess? Oh, you
So right
type
here at
it.
the bottom here, you type your guess. And here up here is the hint. And up here is your timer.
Naf, what is this? What?
It has 4 words. Wait.
So
I'm using my keyboard. Oh, that's not it. Oh.
no, so
What she's circling? She's circling something. Ah!
I got it.
Wow, that was too easy,
That's
and I took
funny.
so long. I took so long. I took so long, and it was so easy.
What is it?
Like
Long.
why
It
you
is
never
long.
just draw one
Draw
long?
a long.
Yes.
I was like, I don't get it. So what you would do is type in long where it says guess. So Sohini is choosing her word now. I want to look long.
For each try, is it one word or is it a group of words?
So you can see the hint up here, so you can see like the length of the word, and if it's 2 words or
The
1
hint.
word, there's a dash lines.
Okay, all right, fine.
Oh, I think I know what this is.
Popsicle.
Oh,
Yeah, so type in popsicle now,
yeah,
and you'll get the
popsicle.
point.
Popsicle.
Hey. That one was easy. Thank you. You actually drew properly.
Hey man, thumbs up. That one wasn't bad. But Gabby, you not type it in yet?
Yes, I did.
Who's Gabby G? It's spelled it wrong.
But I
That's
typed
why.
it. Oh no,
Spelled it wrong.
wrong. No.
Spelled it wrong. Swords. Of this? Triceratops. How did she guess that?
Hey, what is this?
How did she get that?
Can I?
I got it.
You got it?
Yes.
Give me a hint.
I'm a genius, guys.
It's an action you do between friends. No, like in celebration.
No. Oops. Oh no! I typed it at the last minute. It took so long to get
It's
that.
high five.
It's hand clap.
I was like, what? Okay.
High five. Wow.
Oh.
You took the word now. Okay, 1 word.
But I have to choose. I've chosen the word now, so I have to draw it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're supposed to draw it now.
Who haven't drawn yet? Moy hasn't drawn yet. Gabby and Chile.
Yeah, I haven't drawn yet, but I suck at this too.
This could be.
What could this be?
Hmm.
Oh, wow.
L starts with L.
How do I
Come on,
add a
guys, we
color
can
to
get
it?
this.
And
I
a
want
what?
to color to make the entire thing red.
So at the bottom here, you would like scroll down a bit and you'll be able to see like colors and so on.
This is the pencil.
Fred.
Fill, okay.
Joel, you got it?
Oh, Joey gets it.
No, sir.
Oh, not some do. It's not. I want the item to be
Red.
red.
Oh.
Joel, now help us out. What is this?
Red.
Oh crap! Hold on.
How is everyone?
Yeezy.
And what that man?
I feel.
Man,
I don't know how to
I
feel.
don't know what this is. Oh, wow.
Wow.
No, that was a
That was a
joke.
Oh,
good
yeah, and
job.
if it was red, it
That
would
was
look
a
like
good job.
Twizzlers.
That's a hard ex-
That was a good. That was a
Hard
good
to
line.
That could have guessed.
Oh, goodness. Guys, this
That was
is
a
very
good line.
simple that messes up, you know?
Yeah. Come on, I mean this. Not a
I
pose.
could leave it at that. Oh, goodness. Yeah, it's not that hard, guys. Like, don't think too hard about it. Yeah. I see your guesses, guys.
Oh. It's a map. So it is.
What is this? You're on the right track,
I'm
Trevor.
thinking cardinal.
Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah, look,
North
Roy's
Borza.
pointing to.
Not arrow.
Come on. I know what it is.
Oh,
I thought it was pointing to the North arrow.
I typed it
No.
too late. It's a board.
I thought it was pointing to the North arrow.
mm-mm.
So I was like cardinal, but it's not enough words.
Wait, what was it?
Border.
Border.
Oh,
That wasn't bad though, to be honest. That was really wrong.
Look at this artistry.
What?
that kind of shaky.
Is it green for a reason? Yeah, I think I know what this is. Oh, that's not what it is.
It is. You just can't spell.
Just can't spell it, is Dennis.
It is?
Ah.
It is? It's right?
Obviously, Joel is a master at this game because she just gets it. Rar.
See?
Okay. Point.
Dead wow.
Alright, that was a good drawing. Thumbs up. Good drawing. Oh. Guys, do not look at my screen.
Hold on.
Alright.
Don't worry. Most can get this one. Come on, the points are gone.
Come
Wow.
on, you could not. What?
She saw the screen.
Oh.
See?
What is it?
Ah.
And then this is netting. These are nets. These are nets.
Somebody said money. It's not money.
What do I?
Think football.
Yeah, I think
EPL.
football.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
You're so close, Rocky. You're so close.
Well, I feel like Soyini's thing is going to be hard. I feel like she'll choose the hardest thing to
Gosh,
draw.
she's choosing to, what do you choose? 4 letters. Okay.
I'm not in the game. Guys, I'm not in the game.
You can join.
Oh, you haven't guessed, okay, because I saw Soyini at the bottom.
You can join. You can click the link and you enter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you make a mistake and you want to clear the whole screen, you can click the bin and it clears the whole screen.
What is?
Wait, is it typing in? Oh, it's not. It was typing in.
Okay.
Um,
I'll give you a thumbs up.
all right. That wasn't bad.
Okay.
That was pretty
wasn't bad.
good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was good. That was nice. Who's leading? Nafia is leading. And look how much points she have.
Yeah, and Joel's right behind her. It's the quiet people, you know, the quiet people always know these stuff.
Jesus.
What?
When I saw it at first, I was like, is that a cashew? And then like, I thought about it.
What is that?
What is that?
Guys, we can't join up because when people get
That was good. That was good.
Oh, I did? Okay.
Yeah, that was good. That was very
Okay.
good.
I'm afraid of Joel. She's going to draw now. Oh my
The
goodness.
4-letter word. Okay, not bad. Oh. Oh.
I keep losing connection though.
Anything else?
Thumbs up. Good drawing.
I feel so slow. Oh my goodness.
Look at the thing on his head, right? And the thing he's holding.
You don't know what that is?
No, it's 4 letters.
It's a chef.
Chef. Oh.
Because of the hat.
Wow. And that was his spatula. Wow.
Yes,
okay.
that was a spatula.
I see it now. Ooh.
That was a good drawing. My fingers are so fast. I don't understand.
I try.
It's 3 letters, guys. 3 letters. 3 letters.
Very
Right.
simple. I think it's got thumbs up.
I'll just circle this. I'll circle this.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad word.
Robots.
What is this? That's a chest, and that's chest here. But it's only one word.
What?
Organs? Oh. Oh, that's not it?
No, so. No, man. Rocky, no. No. I don't know what it is.
Don't know what this.
Kimoyo, you're at it again.
Hey.
Eh?
Oh.
Oh, I got it.
Oh.
No.
I don't know what that is.
Think about how
I
much
think
of it he
werewolf.
has. How would you describe that person?
Oh, okay.
I still don't get it.
Still don't get it either, Trevin. I'm just here like.
He has a lot of hair, so he's hairy.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Hmm.
No.
Not candy bar. It is something bar.
I get that though. Wow. Think of pussy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Papa. Yeah,
Her
Papa.
face, Trevin.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. That was me. That was a patty inside the paper bag.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. That's a very good drawing.
Yes,
That's a very
Rocky,
good
you
drawing.
go. Circle. Yes, guys. Let me give a little, you know? Yes.
Artistry. Such of artistry, you know? Love this. Love this. What is this? So it's not bread.
Ooh.
Oh, it's
Ooh.
it was a dots that did it for me. It was a dots that did it for me.
Oh. That's pretty good. That's
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Thumbs up.
That's really good. It was the blueberries and that's very nice.
Yeah.
Trev, I think we should wrap up this section around 1:30, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a face, guys. Well, actually, I'm gonna pink instead. When a crush says something nice to you, you do it.
Okay. I like that. Love that. Yeah.
I think we should stop at this round.
Yeah.
Okay, just stop here. Okay, cool.
So declare the winners.
You're the winner.
Because she's the winner.
Wow. Okay, we can stop here.
And then
But that was a
Joe's
really
getting
fun
close.
trivia.
I think if Joel gets this right, and then
Yeah.
Kimori doesn't get it right, I think you can switch. So Joe might win if she get it first.
I see you're against me. It's fine.
Joe, get this one and quickly. You want the point, I want the win.
Just letting this one go so she can try this. Come on, Joel, I believe in you. Beat Kimoy.
Me no know. Them something a whole beer back up. Hint. You know,
Come on.
the beer them
Joel.
put in there.
Joe,
You know, the
get
Yes.
something them.
The big green
Joe, you can get
stuff.
it.
Alright, let me try one different so. Okay. This is nature wise. Them something at the volcano. Or around volcano areas.
Oh.
Oh, great.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was rooting for you, Joel. Can't believe
Love
it.
myself.
But anyways, guys, right? The winner of this game, right, is Kimoy, right?
Yeah.
Second up is Joel.
Despite you trying to make me lose,
Yes.
And third is Nafia, right?
Woo.
You
Your
know,
prize is the satisfaction
then
of knowing
Rocky,
that you won.
then me, you know. But don't mess that because I remember a lot of times I was first place for the whole game, and all of a sudden I lost. So don't watch my face, guys.
Okay. So guys, now we're going to have
knock out of this.
our first
Can't
speaker
connect.
presenting.
Rihanna.
So guys, we have Mrs. Margaret Artram. She is a senior geologist at the Mines and Geology Division. She has worked in the field for 30 years and she is the head of Economic Minerals Unit. So everyone please just clap or use your reaction to welcome Mrs. Artram.
Yeah, clap again. Or reactions.
Right.
There it is.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me
Good
make
evening.
one correction. I'm not the head of the economics department.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just a minute. Yes, you can. I'm a senior geologist in the economic minerals unit.
Oh, okay.
Right, but my focus is on metallic minerals, which is kind of weird because there's still a number of persons who don't believe that we possess those sort of resources here in Jamaica. The one that we are, just a minute, the one that we're most familiar with is aluminum from bauxite. And for those of you who did geography before going to UWI, I know it was one of the topics that was looked at as an economic activity in Jamaica. So, without further ado, I was asked by Gabriel to speak to you guys about careers in the field of geology. Can I ask for the students who are present today, are you all at the third year level or does this represent first to third year? Most of you are in what level, what stage of your program?
I'm in first year.
I'm
Yeah,
in
right.
second.
Good afternoon. I'm in first year as well.
All right, so we have people from all of the levels. Can I also ask, your entry into geology, is it your primary choice or are you doing it as a makeup subject? Because there are students who do that to meet the requirements to complete UA. What I'm asking is, am I speaking to students who are gung-ho or really interested and want to pursue a career in the field of geology?
Okay, so I personally want to pursue geology as a major.
right? And I know, Gabriel, I don't have to ask.
Yes.
What about the first year students? I mean, you're just being introduced to geology because unfortunately, it's still not taught as a subject at the secondary level.
I'm
Well,
doing
one of the,
as a major and
okay,
for
great. All right. Now, in Jamaica, I'm going to start off with Jamaica because this is where we live. And again, I don't know if I'm speaking to students who are from other islands in the Caribbean. Do we have anybody from any of the other islands, or the participants today are all Jamaicans?
Hi, I'm from Trinidad as legal.
Okay, great, great. All right, so let me start off with the Jamaican scenario. After graduating from UWI with a geology degree, the potential sources for employment are mainly in the private sector. And for Jamaica, this is with the bauxite company, bauxite being the major resource that we export as an economic activity. And we also have, in terms of extraction, quarries. But to my knowledge, I don't think a lot of them actually have a geologist on staff. That is something that we need to change in terms of, one, providing more opportunities for geology students, and also to improve the current state of activities in these particular industries. Now, Trinidad, and my recipient from Trinidad can give us some more details if she wishes. In Trinidad, I gather the major mineral commodity that is exploited would be petroleum or energy-related resources. I'm not saying that to say there aren't others, but that's the main one I think we would have learned about at the secondary level. So basically, what readily comes to the mind of anyone when they hear the term geology or geologist is work in the extractive industry. These are entities whose business surrounds the removal of a known resource. Many times they would either just dispose of them as is in their raw material, sell them back. But what we've found in current times, and it makes more sense, is to actually use these raw materials to make other products. When you do that, it increases the value of the products that you are able to sell, thus returning more income to you. Now, for those of you who are in the higher levels at the university, you will recognize that at that level, they are kind of giving you some sort of exposure to other tenets of the field of geology. We're taught that geology is basically the study of rocks and minerals. When you get to the higher level, they are teaching you of some of the other areas that you can apply that knowledge. Areas like engineering geology, areas like exploration geology, areas like geochemistry, and I'm not certain if we have the component for geophysics. No, those four terms that I have just told you are specialized areas in their own regards. Let me start with engineering geology. This is utilizing physical properties and your knowledge of rocks and minerals to assist in like the construction industry. If you're going to build a building usually is anchored or exists on the ground and not in the air. So it's very important for you to understand or have a knowledge of the substrate on which you're going to be constructing your building or a major structure like a bridge or a road. Because we know that rocks and minerals do not remain the same over time, especially if they are exposed to the elements of climate. They're going to break down, and some of them are going to lose some of the integrity and be changed from a solid, compact mass to sometimes rubble or an what we call unconsolidated material. For those of us who had the privilege of going to Sunday school, I think we can remember the story about building your house on the sand versus building it on the rocks. And we all remember that the person who built their house on the rock, that house withstood when the storm came, versus the one who built their house on the sand, that house crashed or collapsed. So an engineer and geologist would use their basic knowledge of rocks and minerals and would provide guidance to projects that seek to construct, whether it be housing or large buildings or um, monuments like a stadium or a dam or road or bridge. These are important infrastructures that we rely on a day-to-day basis. I know that at the Mines and Geology, we have a unit that specializes in that area. One of their responsibilities is to give guidance to the building industry. So they are required to give their input on what are some of the potential hazards. They also look at the different hazards that affect an area, like flooding, storm surge, landslides, you all know. And so they guide them in terms of where they should site their buildings or the structures, and what are some of the potential effects that they can occur over time. So we talk about the exploration geologist. This is the person who uses their knowledge on rocks and minerals to identify valuable resources that a country might have. In the case of Jamaica, we can tell you that you have large expanses of bauxite or bauxitic sand, soil, and this is located mainly in the highland regions, the middle of the island. But for my unit, our focus is on metallic minerals. And so we provide information on the different metallic minerals that we can find here in Jamaica. Now, our focus is a little different. Whereas the bauxite is quite obvious, and you can see it where you have these expansive areas of red soil. Searching for metallic minerals is a different story. It's a much harder, more difficult task. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack. What we do is that our focus primarily are on areas in Jamaica where you have exposed volcanics. From your knowledge of tectonics, also, you know that lava is the production of igneous rocks. And this is what brings these mineral resources to the surface. So we focus our study on areas where we have exposed volcanics or igneous rocks. And what it is basically is just sampling these materials. And we have to rely on a lab now to analyze and to tell us what the various elements are contained. And from that information, we are able to say what this area has resources of a particular, let's say, for example, gold or copper, copper being the next most abundant metallic minerals in Jamaica. Exploration geology involves a number of other skills because we use the chemical knowledge of rocks. And this is where another specialized geologist will come in today. This is the geochemist. Their focus is basically looking at the chemistry of the different mineralization of one area and plotting them and doing what we call contour maps, which shows you where you have concentrations of particular minerals. So that is just one phase or primary phase of a geochemist. They also come back in the picture once you have confirmed you have a resource and that it is available in economic quantities. We again consult them because you have some geochemists who specialize in an area called metallurgy. What this is that they use different means, whether it be physical or chemical means, to help you to extract your metals from the broad ore. An ore would contain a number of different types of metals. Usually, most companies are only interested in a particular one. So you have to find or identify a method that will allow you to extract the one that's of interest to you. There's another field of geology that we use as well in exploration. This is the geophysical field. And in that case, we use information about the physical properties of the earth to identify resources. I'm not certain. There have been presentations, I think, with the society by a local company called Geophysics, and the name synonymous with what they are. One of the methods that they use is an exploration company. And so they've kind of revolutionized exploration here in Jamaica. It's a very exciting time that we're living in because until now, most of the exploration programs or surveys were mainly looking at the chemistry of the minerals and how they appear on the surface. But with geophysics now, it allows us not only to determine the surface presentation, but most importantly, it allows us to see subsurface. And it's a very important and a very interesting tool because it saves you a lot of money. It's a precursor to the final stage of exploration, which is drilling. It allows you to see quite far beneath the surface of the earth. And it allows you then to determine where are the most feasible places to do your drilling, which is a very expensive venture. So I basically told you about the basic geologists who will identify the rocks and minerals when you're talking about exploration. I've told you about the engineer geologist, which uses their knowledge to give guidance for construction projects. I've told you about the geochemist, who uses their knowledge on the chemistry of the elements to give you information on the feasibilities or the economic value of a material. And I've told you about the geophysicists who assist in the exploration program and can tell you how deep your deposit might be, what's the orientation, is it on an angle, are there faults that separate so that you can say that, well, you're looking at something here, but this is not the entire extent. If you go another distance or go to another direction, you can find others. Geophysicists also provide information for construction, especially since we live in an era where we are prone to earthquakes. They can give you some information about seismic reactions, the activities, and what are the potentials for that as a hazard in a particular area. Now, those are just 4 of the areas that we see being utilized here in Jamaica. Unfortunately, I can't tell you, especially in light of geophysics or geochemistry, that there are organizations who actually utilize that service here. We're hoping that with the success of geophysics, that there would be or to create a need for people with those specialized skills. But for now, most of our students find employment utilizing just your basic knowledge of geology. You have to be able to map, do the basic identification of rock types, mineralization, and that is utilized heavily. I mean, the person or the organization know who employs the most geologists from UA would be geophysicists. They're offering a lot of experience and exposure to students, and I'm really happy for that because that's very different to when I left UA. When I left UA, the options for working as a geologist were very limited. Still is, but as I said, hopefully with the success of geophysics and based on their success, I'm expecting that there should be other companies coming in who would require the services of a geologist. My unit not only looks at identification of metallic resources, we also do some environmental work. Now, I know you have another speaker who's going to talk to you about the environmental aspect. But I'll just tell you a little bit about what we do in our unit. When you have exploration activities or mining, the actual extraction of these minerals, sometimes there is the utilization of chemicals that are not friendly to the environment. My unit keeps tabs on these activities by doing surface water sampling. We do that periodically. We do it before this operation is in effect. So this is before mining, so that we can establish what is known as a background value, to see what naturally exists in the environment, so that when the actual exploration or extractive activity takes place, we can then be alerted for any changes that are negative, and then also talk to these persons about how do they mitigate or how do they fix or change it. Now, the last thing I want to tell you, or I want to encourage students, is that if you're going to stay in Jamaica, sometimes you have to think outside of the box. Geology exposes you and provides you with a lot of skills. I know that no student is just doing geology alone. I'm going to use myself as an example. I had a major in geology, but I have a minor in both geography and zoology. And those I have found to be quite useful in my day-to-day activities. Of course, my zoology experience helps me with the environmental components of my work. And my geography, of course, helps me with setting the stage for the environmental of deposition for these geological resources. But there are three projects that I work on. Gabriel knows that I'm always thinking to some other stuff.
Mhm.
As an economic geologist, I see my primary function and role as using my geology information to help to build or develop offshoot industries. I don't believe it's just important to assist with the extraction and sale of these resources for revenue. As I pointed out before, some of these companies just sell the material as it is in the raw state. I'm more for promoting to use these raw materials and manufacture products that we use in our daily life. For example, Jamaica has a lot of clay deposits, mostly in the group we call kaolin, or we do have bentonite or smictite. And currently, it's mainly utilized by people who are ceramists. They build these pots, and in the art industry. But as I won't say a long-term plan because I am almost at retirement. I'm making preparations for that. I'm currently back at school and I'm training to do massage therapy. And that field allows me exposure to works for like facials or body treatments. And so I thought, we have some geological materials here in Jamaica. And from my research in my course, I realized that a lot of countries use some of these to build or develop cosmetic products. For example, these clays for the girls who are very, into getting their nice, clean and smooth skin. I'm certain that you know about using a mask to extract your impurities and to give you a radiant glow. Well, clays form a very important base for these masks. So I'm currently doing research into some of these clays to see how appropriate they are for utilization into the manufacture of cosmetics. I do know that a number of producers locally are actually using some of them to make soap. So we're talking about like powders, we're talking about shampoos, of course, the regular face mask. pollution, stuff like that. There are a number of things that we can't go into details with. But we also think about salts as an abrasion in our scrub. And we do have a number of brine ponds here in Jamaica. But we also have something called thermal waters, or hot springs. That's another biggie in the cosmetic industry. So that's one of the little projects that I'm doing. So I'm using my knowledge of geological materials and doing investigations into their probable use in the manufacture of cosmetics. Using my geography background and my exposure from geology. Some of you are familiar with Dr. Shireen Williams, right?
Yeah.
Well, we both work together on a particular area that's called geoheritage. And that's interesting too. It's a build-up project. It's a new product for the tourism industry. This is giving additional value to our original tourist product by providing people with information about the geology, the geomorph. So what it does is to give you a more wholesome experience. So you're building your mind while you're experiencing the physical substances of these areas and the beauty, the aesthetics. All right. Now I think that I have chatted more than enough. I don't know how you've structured your program today, if you are going to allow the students to ask any questions. But I think that's a good point for me to say goodbye and listen to the next presenter. Thank you all for having me today.
Hi guys, hi again. Well, I want to say a very, very warm welcome to our nice friend, our very intelligent and wonderful friend, always learning more and more, right?
Right?
So, if anybody has any questions that you want to ask, you can or next presenter, or nice Patrice Edwards is going to come on next at 2 o'clock. If you guys have any questions, you can say in the chat, or by unmuting your mic and turning your cameras on so you can see that nice smile and hear your questions. But our last thing Sohini said, that was also a good point as well. When we had physical school, we used to have something we call brown bags, presentations on different things each week or every other week. So that would have been a great brown bag to have if you had the time. But
you mean the brown bag presentations?
Yes, exactly. So.
Yeah. So it's done during the lunchtime, so you carry your lunch and just listen to the talk. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, that's been very nice. So we're gonna show it, and I love the presentations that you guys have over by Geology on your Instagram live. That is very, very
minding our business. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoy them. Yeah? That's kudos to our PR person. He's doing a great job.
It really works, and we listen to it all the times, and it really works. It's very nice.
I'll pass on that information to him. I'm glad. One of the roles, again, and I forgot this one, but I should need to say it. As a scientist, you're always teaching. We all need to remember that that's one of our roles and functions, and it is a mandated task in our job description. We have to allocate some of our time to deal with the public, to provide people with technical assistance. And we do, from time to time, have educational programs where we go into schools, in particular at the primary and secondary levels. And I think a few years back, there was an arrangement between MGD and the Geography department to accommodate interns. We're hoping that we can get back to that because I believe it is really important for students to have some exposure. Unlike in my time, they used to call me green bamboo. Leave you and no working experience in my field. I think we should move beyond that now, and that we should really be seeking to provide that on-the-job training. It was one of the recommendations when I sat on the review panel for the geology department. And it's something that I think I really need to look at doing. So I'm going to be talking to Gabriel to see what's the best way to accomplish that. I have spoken to a number of organizations, both government and private, about the possibility of putting it as a regular in their business plans that every summer they each take 2 interns. Can you imagine if we got 20 organizations to do that?
Yeah.
That would create at least 40 jobs. And it came home to me again recently because my youngest daughter was approached by another institution about with scholarships. And these are for areas like administration, HR and administration. This is for IT and for tourism and hospitality. And again, it just reinforced to me the lack of opportunity for people in the field of science. That is an area that we really need to work on. Because I find that when you have that sort of exposure, it kind of gives you the final push and helps you to seriously determine what it is you want to do based on the needs that exist out there. Helps you in that area.
All right, thank you so much for that, Mrs. Artram,
Welcome.
and I'll turn back over to Trevin.
Right on.
Okay. Hi again. Thank you so much for coming out and spending your time with us. I need to talk to you again at the end about that internship program. Very lovely. But so please stay because it's very important.
I will say I'm interested to hear the other presenter as well. Huh? I've been enjoying my time so far.
Yes, thank you so much. Next up is our lovely Patrice Edwards. She was our president of the UWI Geographical Society for 2018-2019, and vice president. I'm so sorry. But the president is here. Oh, this shot is on the other side. The president is here, but she's in the background. So I'm going to turn it over to our lovely Patrice Edwards. She's going to talk about the other side, the geographical side.
Okay, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Hi, Patrice. We can hear you.
Okay,
hold on,
let me
Patrice.
just...
Can I have some applause for my lovely Patrice Edwards? No,
oh
man.
Yes, Patrice is so nice.
Let me try to get my camera on. Okay, there we go.
Okay, you can
Right,
go
so it's
ahead.
great to see everybody. And I just want to say thank you to the other presenter. That was very good. It was very informative. I really enjoyed it. Okay, Trevin, am I allowed to share my screen?
You should be able to share your screen.
All right, let me try to do that. Coolio. And I go share. Nice. Let me take it to slideshow. Everybody seeing the screen?
Yes,
we can.
Yeah,
yes, we can.
Awesome
Right
sauce.
ahead.
Okay, so hi everybody. Again, my name is Patrice Edwards, and I was asked to, do a presentation today so that you guys know a bit about my experience, my journey on the, the career path so far, some things that I would change, things I wish I knew before, and things I've learned since I started working. And let me tell you, it is a journey and a half, but I will press on. So yes, I recently graduated. I graduated last year, which would be November 2019, which would mean that I completed my studies in May of that same year. I remember just after I finished school, I said, I'm going to take 2 months to just rest, because if anybody knows me, they knew that I really went all out when it came on to studies. I did not have much of a social life. So yes, I would have gone out, but I didn't go out a lot. And just after I finished, and I was satisfied with myself, I said, I need to rest a bit. That thought lasted all of 5 minutes because I was not okay with not being actively engaged. It just did not feel like me. So in June 2019, I applied to the National Works Agency and I was successful in getting a job as a GIS officer there. I stayed 3 months with them and then my time there was up. So again, I was at home and I was not okay with just being at home. It wasn't second nature to me. So then I said, okay, it's now October, November. I should really get on the hunt. If I want to start working next year, I should really start looking. So I applied to the National Land Agency. And early this year, I got a call saying, hey, you've been successful. Come in and start on Monday. So my position there is that of a photogrammetrist and GIS practitioner. So, I'll start there. So before I started working, I wish I knew these things. And Julian asked me to speak about career choice, and so I'm giving you things that you can add to your way forward into your careers. So it's important to identify yourself and know where you are. And by that, I mean, if you're a person who does not like bugs, you don't like lizards, you don't like to be in the sun, you really don't like a lot of physical activity, then jobs in the field that have a lot of field work, I would not suggest take on a job like that. It really has to be what you see yourself doing and being successful in. Because I mean, a career choice, it can have a lot of long-term ramifications, such as, your income, opportunities for success, all of that. um, so it's important to know yourself and know where you are. And I know that our audience here today is, spans from first to third year. So this can also apply to those who are in first year. If it's a case where you are an A student, you need to know where you are so you can do what you need to do to maintain your good grades or to also improve your grades. So just figure out where you are so you can pivot to the next level. Right? Everybody following me so far?
Wonderful. That's a lovely.
Yes, very good.
Yep.
Okay.
You're doing
So
great. I love it.
Exactly. I like it.
so my other point now is to outline your personal and professional goals and to also be actively engaged in personal development. So if it is a case where you want to have a certain job, you need to do what you need to do to get there. But what the thing about goal setting is that it's also important to set attainable goals. So don't say, okay, it is now October 2020, and when I get my job in November 2020, I want to buy a 2021 vehicle in December. That is kind of, not attainable. If you don't start working, you can't plan for the money that you don't start getting as it. So, set attainable goals. So if you want to graduate with a particular degree, you need to do what you need to do. You need to make sure that your coursework grades are up to standard. You need to make sure that all of your group assignments are submitted on time so you don't lose marks. It's these little things that really add up. And in the section about being engaged in personal development, I know that career and placement at UWI, from time to time, they will have career days, they will have mock interviews, they will help you with developing your LinkedIn profiles. These things are important for us to be engaged in. Another point I want to make is to research and have a wide scope. I can't stop stressing that point. It's important to research, know what is out there, because a lot of us when we graduate or just as we're about to graduate, we start thinking about what is it we're going to do and we start getting stressed. Oh my God, the work environment is this way. I won't be able to get a job. But the truth is, you just have to, as the other presenter said, look outside of the box. Work is out there. We just need to look and be patient. It's so important to be very patient. So don't limit yourself to working in Kingston and St. Andrew only. Don't limit yourself to working in Jamaica only or within the region. You can also apply yourself to other jobs elsewhere. So it's important to do your research in that way. And lastly, a little tip I wish I knew and I was doing in the summer after I left UA is to keep learning and don't limit yourself to traditional learning. So if it is a case where you leave UA in May and you don't get a job as yet, I would suggest going on the Esri websites and do some free online courses that will help to make you more marketable. Because the thing is, if you have a degree in geography or geology and you see a job opportunity for somebody who is a cartographer, but you didn't really do a course that's entitled cartography at UE. If you do a 6 week online course in the summer where you're not working, that does count because it's certified and you can print out your certificate and take it with you to your interviews. And guys, I'm being very honest, these little things they do count. So these are those four small tips that I'll give to you. I wish I knew them before. So I don't mind crawling so you guys can run. Okay, so now I will get into the careers in geography, and I will start with mine. So I'm a photogrammetrist, and photogrammetrists specialize in using satellite images, aerial photographs, in order to recreate or to build 3D models of the Earth's surface. There's also cartography, I mentioned that earlier. Cartographers collect, interpret, and measure geographic data to make user-friendly maps. So I don't know if you guys have seen some of the maps that Prof. Mitchell and Stenman have used, but they have in multiple times they have collaborated with cartographers to produce some of these maps. Other careers include map maintenance technicians. Now, a lot of us use maps, but what if it's a case where these maps weren't being maintained? Parcel data changes almost daily, where persons will sell their land, persons will have lands, value of lands done, and we really need to have up-to-date information. So map maintenance technicians do this. That's what their core job is to do. GIS analysts know their duties really have to do with analyzing spatial data and making it in a usable form for various purposes, education, for regional planning. These are what the GIS analysts do. And then you have emergency management planners. I don't know if it's being run now, but when I was in final year, there was a disaster management course. And for anybody who is particularly interested in that area, this is a job that you could get into. So what is happening? You guys know that climate change is a very real thing. Contrary to Mr. Trump's belief, it's a very real thing. And it's happening now, and it won't stop happening for now. So, it's important for persons in this area or who like this field, what they do, the emergency management planners, what they do is to gather data and use the different geographic tools to understand and plan for natural and human-induced events, hazards, and disasters. You also have forestry technicians. They will collect and log forestry data, more so about mangrove health, carbon stock monitoring, and we know how much mangroves support us, or coastlines, and in terms of being sources of fish sanctuaries, we know just how much these things mean to the environment. And the final one I'll talk about right now, because the other presenter actually made mention of this. Over the last 3 to 4 years, we've seen a lot of infrastructural development happening within the country. A lot of the major projects have to do with road infrastructure. And so transportation planners and managers, they are the ones who go out to understand where what needs to be and how best to put these measures in place. So these are just a few of the job posts that are within the career of geography. And options for work, you guys may know some of these places. I really should have mines and geology there as well. I don't know how it's because I have done a good amount of projects with them. But you have the National Works Agency, you have NEPA, which is the National Environment and Planning Agency, you have the Urban Development Corporation, Forestry Department, the Land Information Council of Jamaica, that's this is the one down here. Not sure if you're, yes, this is the one down here. And then you have my awesome, very awesome workplace, the National Land Agency. So yeah, these are the options, and there are plenty more out there. So don't just limit yourself to the ones I've presented here. So I said before that I will give you guys further insight to my job as a photogrammetrist. So I get to play with drones. I don't know about anybody else, but I really like I really like flying drones. So our data collection mostly is done using drones. And the type of drone you use to collect the data is dependent on the nature of the project. So if it's a case where you have an investigative project to do, where you want to literally zoom in on a specific area, it's best to use what is called a virtual takeoff drone, and that would be this orange one over here on the left. However, if you are doing a project that does not necessarily require hovering over a specific area, then you can use what is called a fixed wing drone. And most persons will purchase fixed wing drones because they tend to be more affordable. So on the satellite image that's on the screen, everybody is still seeing the screen, right?
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
Okay.
Yes.
So the image that you're seeing is that of a little community just behind University of Technology, referred to as Mudtown colloquially, or land lease, right? The thing with that community is that there are a lot of informal settlements there. And it's not a case where persons would have it's like it's just gone and settled, but it could have been, passed on as family land. If you guys have done or will do the tropical agricultural course, that course really does tell you a lot about family land. So I recommend doing that course. It's a pretty easy final year course as well, but it will give you a great appreciation for geography. So this is one of the projects that we have worked on. And so what we did, we went in, we captured the aerial photographs using the drone, and then we imported them into a specific mapping software that counts the 3D point clouds. And point clouds, basically, they are the 3D shape of an object. So a specific building, just one building, could have, say, 5 million points, and each point has latitude and longitude and height data. And that's how we get to actually make the 3D models, because of the point cloud data. And so yeah, this is an example of one. I really found this on the website because I can't necessarily take out the agency's data for presentation purposes. I can't really take them out. So this is one example of the 3D model. And so differently from that, we can also use aerial photographs to pick out specific features. So this is also that specific area that I spoke about, just beyond UTech. So yeah, we can pick out specific features, have them digitized using ArcGIS Pro, and we can also create 3D models from that area or from those features of the area. So does anybody have any questions about anything I've said so far? Anything about my specific job and the project we're doing, or anything I've said about, choosing a career or anything like that? Any questions at all? Shoot.
I have a question, not about your presentation, because I really enjoyed it. You're kind of complementing what I've said and trying to explain to students some of the considerations in choosing a career, and I think you did very, very well. My question to you is, would you be available to do a similar presentation to students at the secondary level? I think it's very prudent for students to start really thinking about that even before they get to the tertiary level.
Yes, I would definitely have to check the schedule because, as I said, we are doing a lot of ongoing projects. And I actually believe I saw an email yesterday saying that I will be in a different parish for all of November. But that is definitely something that has come up in our unit and the department to actually go out and, attend career days at the high school level.
I do. It's really, you have taught me a lot. I mean, I never really knew about some of the specialized areas in your field, in your organization itself.
Yes.
And as unlike you realize that I had limited my expressions to actual geologists. You have presented some of the support positions in your organization, and that's key.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Patrice, wait, does anybody else have any questions? Because I'm going to go crazy right now.
Guys, questions or comments?
Really
there must have been something that interested you.
That's a really good
from both
presentation. I want to talk.
All right, go ahead, Trevin, until other people want to talk.
Okay. Patrice, that was a spectacular
I love it.
That presentation on point. Absolutely love it. Every single point that you made was popular, and it really helped us to assess where everybody wanted to go in life. And it linked everything. It links geology and geography and how it all comes together and how you can marry your courses,
Thank you.
It really helped.
Oh, Patrice, someone is asking from the chat. She's asking, what is the pay range like?
For my specific
Yeah. She
She
wants the specifics.
She wants the specifics.
Yes.
It really all depends on your qualification, because I'm not sure how much of you would have known this, but you can enter in at a specific level with a degree or with a diploma, and based on your qualification, you get paid on a different grade. So certain jobs, especially at the agency, they range from, say, lowest grade maybe $110,000 per month, to
Not bad.
like 160, depending on the grade. And one thing I forgot to mention, in government jobs especially, there's opportunity for growth. So you can come in doing one particular thing, and then the company or the agency or the ministry will actually give you opportunities to learn different things, so that when other posts become available or open, you can apply and equally compete with anybody else. So I hope I would have answered the question and then given you even more information.
Okay, thank you.
Can I interject there? I mean, I don't know if you are aware, government comprises of a number of different types of agencies.
Right.
And NLA, which is where Patrice works, is what is called an executive agency. So their financial abilities are a little better than where I work, which is considered central government. They have the opportunity to utilize some of their earnings based on the services that they provide. And she is correct. One of the characteristics of government is to provide access to opportunities to experience or exposure to work in other areas. And that's really good. That was one of the reasons, I think, why I decided to go in government, based on the exposure to so many different facets of the industry, versus working with a private company where you're just restricted to their particular interests.
Right.
Working with the government allows you even not just onshore, but also the opportunity to engage with people from other countries when they have what they call bilateral projects, whether offshore in Jamaica or even here, as we've seen that some of these construction programs are being done with people from Asia and from Europe. So it is, and I think it highlights another one of the best experiences for me being a geologist. Like Patrice, I get to work in any of the parishes depending on the requirements. You get to meet people, but more importantly, I get to experience or see aspects of Jamaica that a normal person would not have the opportunity to see.
Yep.
And that was kind of out of what developed the GeoHeritage project that we do from time to time.
That was again, that's a very lovely presentation from both of you guys, and I
Thank
absolutely
you.
love it. I know the people who are gonna watch it after this are gonna love it as well, because I know I will tell them to go and watch it anytime they have questions.
Actually, Patrice, I didn't want to disturb our meeting. I wanted to invite my younger daughter to come sit in, because it really is, no, I'm serious. It's really a very good presentation. And as you said, it's point on. And it gives you a lot of food for thought.
Yeah.
It really makes you think before actually going out in their preparation. So that's really great.
Thank you so much. And as you can see on the screen, my email address is there. I respond to my emails. No worries. I actually do really respond to emails. So if it's a case where you need help with say, you know,
Be certain you're going to be hearing from me.
if it's a case where you need help with even reviewing your resume, or for persons in third year who are doing their theses, I actually do, you know, I make the time available, you know, for persons who need my help that way. Was that Gabby?
I said, your heart.
I'll tell you, Patrice's heart, this big. You can't even see where my hands are.
Okay, there's
Someone
also
has a
another
question.
question from you.
There's another question.
Yeah,
Rocky
Okimo,
said
you
she
can
had a
start, it's okay.
question.
No, go ahead. You started. Just
Okay.
the one from the chat.
Yeah, I was going to raise that too. So Sharon asked about photogrammetry. So she's
Right.
asking if you were taught this at your current job, like you got training there, and how was it getting a hang with drones, seeing as we're not taught about using drones at the department?
Okay, so thanks for your question, Sharon. One thing I will say, and I'm not sure if anybody here would have heard Dr. Campbell, who is now the head of department, say it before. He mentioned to me one time that your degree really means that you have a trainable brain.
Yes.
So the minute I started working at the agency, I think the first 3 or 4 months, it was only training. I was not working in production. I was only being trained. And so I would go with them to field assignments, but I wouldn't really get a long time operating the drones. But I did get my time to, you know, really work on it. So no, I did not learn it at UWI. I learned it at the agency. And what was my adjustment with the drones? You just really don't want to crash them, and so that is always a consideration. Because depending on the type of drone, it is a lot of money to fix it. I think I mentioned that the fixed wing one, it's a less complex structure, and so if it's a case where you have to send it out for it to be fixed, it would definitely be done in a shorter space of time than the drones with a rotor. You know, than the vertical takeoff ones. Those are very expensive to fix if something goes wrong. But my adjustment to using drones, it was a lot easier than I thought. Once you know, get accustomed to the controls, and you know, you have your perception of height and depth, then you should be okay. And you also will have to definitely watch your controls and your computer system. If the drone says it's too high, then guess what? It's too high. But one thing that we do to kind of safeguard or to create a safety net, if it's a case where we know we're going to fly in an open space, in a very open space, we actually contact the Civil Aviation Association, right? So we make sure that, you know, we don't get into commercial airspace. And those things are our considerations. Just like any other field work, you have to take into consideration weather, you know, these kind of things. So yeah, that was for me working with drones. That's how it was. It wasn't too bad. I thought it was going to be a train wreck. To be very honest, it was not. It was not. Did I answer your question, Sharon?
She said yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
Kimoy had a question.
What's the question, Kiwi?
Oh, okay. Well, you said that you are a GIS specialist. Like, what was your major and minor? As in, did you have to do ComSci courses as a major or minor? Because GIS isn't really offered extensively in as a geol or geog degree. I think you only have GIS and then advanced GIS. Like, do I need more than that if I wanted to pursue what you're doing?
Okay, so yes, you are right. I think the Introduction to Geography course is a GGEOG course. Whew, actually said that correctly. So both geography and geology students would benefit from that. But the introductory course, in my opinion, is a little lacking. And so a lot of what I have learned, it was self-directed learning. So I would have gone on the different Esri websites. I would have seen open source software, and, you know, just in that time when I wasn't working, I was just, you know, trying to do something. So a lot of what I learned is from, you know, Esri. And I think I think the Land Information Council, I think they offer the advanced GIS and remote sensing course. So that's a pretty good one that you guys can do in the summer. And also conferences. now especially with conferences being online, you guys can, get a link. A lot of the registration, a lot of them are free, so you can get a link, join in, and learn about the different software. Interestingly, and I will say this, I was just browsing around and I saw this new extension that Esri has, and I was able to mention it to my supervisor, and I think the agency is now, in the process of trying to get licensing for that extension. So it really does pay to always be learning and researching. It really does pay. So yeah, the GIS based stuff, a lot of it is on YouTube as well. So it's just what you do and how much you go for yourself. You can just look out and find stuff. It's there. And if it's a case where there are courses that you can't really afford, because that's the truth, some of the courses, some of the more attractive courses, they have an attached cost. But what I did, I would have done the course, well, audited the course, which means you would have participated in the class, made notes, but not able to do the assessment. So you wouldn't necessarily get a certification, but you can actually modify your resume to include audited courses that you've done. So that's another tip that you guys can look into. And it also helps with just how much you know about the field of GIS and the related fields.
I think there was one more question, right? But before I get to that question, before I forget, the Esri website, you have a lot of courses available right now, upcoming. Um, I think we shared one last week. It is called Spatial Data Science, the New Frontier in Analytics. It's free.
And thank you for sharing that, because I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna send the link. It is 6 weeks, right? It's only 2 or 3 hours of study per week, right? And it is free. So you can register. Registration ends November 12th. So if you want to do it, please register. Hello?
Yeah, someone's asking if you could share the link, please.
Oh,
If you don't
yeah.
have it on hand now, you can probably send it in the group chat.
I was gonna shorten the link so it doesn't look too long.
Okay, cool.
Oh, and I think I'm seeing the other question where the Esri course is hard. No, they were not, because how they structure their course material, they really do provide it with a lot of information. So you'll be reading some documentation, and the questions ask it clear enough for you to know, oh, this is what they're asking about. So no, the Esri courses aren't hard.
Okay, cool. So thank you everyone for coming out. If you have any additional comments or questions, just let us know before we wrap up.
And thank you for having me. Thank you for having us on behalf of myself and the other presenter.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I feel quite honored.
Yes,
among
likewise.
You really do. Well, I tell
likewise.
people sometimes I'm living my best life on the other side of a hill. Huh? Yeah. It was a pleasure really to be amongst a group. I have had my experience with Gabriel, and so I'm going to add you guys to it as well. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so thank you.
It was a very good way to spend a Saturday evening.
Oh, thank you. Trevin, he's having some technical difficulties right now. But thank you for everyone who came out. You guys will be able to see this recording as well. You can head over to our YouTube channel and you'll be able to see it, go back, and if you missed anything, just check it out. Share it with your friends, other people in the department if they weren't able to come here today. So that's it from us, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening.
Thanks again. Same to you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.